What is up, guys? Back with another video, brand new day. All right, guys, it's comeback season for the 1000th time. It's comeback season. We got to get started. Q5, the new year's about to start. Phew! Comeback season for the 50,000th time. Man, I'll tell you what, if you're feeling down, just hit the gym, dude. Put on some music you like. Next thing you know, you feel like you're taking over the world. Man, I love that Bible quote that I put in the video the other day. I was thinking about it. It's Timothy 2. I had to look up what Timothy was. I didn't know Timothy was two letters to Paul, or 2 letters from Paul to Timothy, who was like his protege, like taking over. I didn't know that while he was in. Apparently, that was the last letters he wrote while he was in jail before he got executed. I didn't know that. But no, the quote is, God didn't give you a spirit of fear. He gave you a spirit of oh crap, I forget now. Oh, courage, love, and self-discipline. I like that, dude. I feel like that's just like, oh, that's dialed in. You know what I mean? I just like that quote. Our verse. I love that Bible verse. But yeah, those letters, in those letters, he talks about like, oh, I got my 50 Cent on. This is what I was listening to in the gym. Rotten Apple. Doing deadlifts. Meanwhile, back to the Bible. No, but sometimes you gotta listen to something to get you fired up. Okay, so what I was getting at was the first letter. I think, don't quote me on this because I'm no theologian or whatever. You get what that explains what I'm trying to say. So the first letter is basically like telling him to stand firm, like in faith, and not to like sway. Like don't change your character when the society change. Like don't let society change your character. Like remain who you are, remain grounded in who you are and in faith. You know what I mean? Without being swayed. Like he'll be tested, you know what I mean? I saw a thing the other day, dude, I liked it. I was like, damn, that's hard. It said, the teacher is silent when you're taking the test. I was like, oh, man, I like that. It's like, you might be going through something in your life right now, and it's like, what the heck? You're praying about it, you're all stressed out and worried about it. And you're like, nothing's changing, dude. It's because the teacher is silent when you're in the test. It's like God's with you, watching over you. He's there. He's in the classroom. You know what I mean? He's gonna check it out in a second. But it's like right now you need to be focused. But I like that. All right, let me get back to my day. I got to carry on with the day. I'm actually running really late. Back at the house. Guys, back on the golf cart. My cousin's actually driving to Florida from Vegas. He's taking him like 5 days. I can't get a hold of him. I'm trying to figure out where he is. Guys, now we're headed to the kids' school for a party. I gotta bring the juice and water. I got the coffee. I got the baby monitor. I got the Porsche poster. I want to get a frame for that. And I'm about to get on this computer. Guys, back on the streets with the baby. I'm walking the streets, trying to hit that 10,000 steps. I was just thinking to myself, because I was like, man, I gotta get back into this. I was thinking to myself, I'm always talking about investing and all that stuff, but really, I think what propelled me ahead was the business, focusing on the business. So I got to get back to that, building that e-commerce business, the second one we were talking about. But even focusing on my own business and scaling. I got to get back to scaling instead of, right now I'm just in like complacency, survival like mode. I got to get back into growth mode. I was just looking, Tesla's PE ratio is 325. That is insane. That is insane. It would take 325 years. I mean, you can't really judge a PE ratio like that, but price to earnings. To get the earnings for the price you're paying, 325 years it would take. It's hypothetical. That's if they had no more growth or earning growth or buybacks or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, for fun, if today's price, for the price you're paying, it would take 325 years for the earnings justify the price you're paying. I saw one analyst say that if you were to separate all the future stuff related to like robo-taxis and solar panels and all that kind of stuff with Tesla and robots, all that kind of stuff, that just the car business today is worth about $30 a share. I don't know if that's true or not, but like alpha spread, if you check like the link in the description, I have that alpha spread I use. Alpha spread shows that the worst case scenario Tesla's worth $55 a share. I don't believe that. I mean, I believe in the thesis you guys all do about the future with robo-taxis and whatnot, but I do think that the stock is trading at insane multiples. But I guess people are optimistic. For optimists or whatever the hell the robot's called. I have access to Alpha Spread because I pay for it. If you guys want to sign up, I'll put a link in the description. It's a referral link, so if you want to support the channel, I don't even know how much you get in commission, but I think you get like $10 or something. But if somebody signs up, you want to, there's a link in the description if you want to support the channel. If not, I get it. But if not, you can go there. You can do 3 free searches, so go check it out. But because you can only do 3, you run out quick because you start to get excited to look at these different stocks. So let's look at the Mag 7 for fun since I have access to it. I'll put it on the channel and see which ones are showing undervalued. Because when I was looking at Tesla just now, it showed Nvidia was, but that's not worst case. So let's look up Nvidia. Let's start with Nvidia. All right, it's saying Nvidia is undervalued. It's saying that's not, all right, so what Alpha Spread does is it uses the discounted cash flow model and the relative valuation together to come up with its own thesis, which is, it's nice, I guess. I like discounted cash flow a lot, and I like Peter Lynch's fair value, because Peter Lynch's fair value, you can kind of see, is the company like earning money and is it growing? Does it have growth? Does it have earnings power? But let's just use the summary version, which is the mix between discounted cash flow and relative valuation. So it's saying worst case, let's see. Worst case, overvalued by 16%. Base case, 19% undervalued. And best case, 60% undervalued. That'd be nice if that was true. Now let's see real quick. I like to look at this chart here. So this is the valuation history. You can see these 2 lines. One line's the intrinsic value, and one line is the actual price you're paying for it. So look at this. You can see back in 2023, the intrinsic value was 102 and the share price was 29. That's insane. That is insane. So look, let's see here. You can see here now, look at that. The intrinsic value's climbed up from those new earnings, I guess. And the share price has dropped recently. So yeah, so Nvidia, we won't go into like but Alpha Spread's pretty cool. You can scroll down and you can look at all kinds of stuff. You can look at the revenue, free cash flow, all that stuff's growing with Nvidia. I like to look at this, the assets and the liabilities. I like to look too at the assets. How much is intangibles? Intangibles is like IP and stuff, like intellectual property, because that stuff sometimes can really boost their assets where it's not actual cash in the bank. You know what I mean? So I like to look at that. But all right, so let's scroll down and see what else they got. Oh, I also like to scroll down to see what Wall Street says. So Wall Street's saying 20% downside, lowest, average is 46% upside, highest is 159% upside. Jeez. All right, let's go back and let's see. Let's go to Google. This is why I was running around screaming about Google like 6 months ago. If you go on the channel and go back, search on my channel, search the word Google. I have a video like maybe eight months ago where I'm telling people, I'm like, I might go $1 million all in on Google. Overvalued now. Look at this. What? Maybe it's getting a little frothy. But it didn't look like this when I was running around talking about it. You can go back and look at that video. It was $156 or $160 a share at the time. But again, see, look here, I like this chart. You see this? See how you can see the line between the stock price and its intrinsic value? Gives you like an actual visual, you know, of it. But check out Alpha Spread, you might like it. All right, let's look at the next one. Every stock I've ever mentioned on the channel that did good was all because of Alpha Spread. Comcast, just a couple days. Since the day I showed Comcast, it's gone up 10%, but a lot of that was luck because they started talking about that activist investor rumors. But Butterfly Network, I was talking about at $2.19. What else was I talking about? I don't know, a lot of the stocks I've dropped on here. I didn't have any magic formula. I would literally just come on here. I was looking at Disney because I started looking at the media. Like, dude, Comcast, when they bid on Warner Brothers, they valued their media company at $80 billion. Their whole entire market cap's $100 billion. And everybody thinks their broadband is like what is their main cash driver, but people forget that Comcast is a media company. They own Universal Studios. They can drop a movie like Minions, dude, and make $5 billion. All right, so it all depends on how many movies they have in the pipeline, you know? But yeah, look at Disney. I was looking at Disney. Worst case, 5%. Base case, 20% undervalued. But it's good to look at their revenue too. Like Disney's revenue was declining slightly, I think, when I looked at it. Let me see. So you scroll down here, you see, oh, it's flat, zero growth. Oh, hold on. You can click into it and get a better idea. You can look at trailing 12 months. Oh no, it's increasing. 3-year CAGR, 5%. Annual, you can look at quarterly, see if it's going up or down. Sometimes there's things that are like seasonal with certain businesses. But let's go back and let's look up, what other Mag 7 do we have? Amazon. Amazon's got all kinds of stuff in the pipeline. So one thing I've noticed with Alpha Spread compared to valueinvesting.io is that Alpha Spread is a little more conservative. They're a little bit more conservative with their growth numbers in the discounted cash flow model. So a lot of times they'll show stocks undervalued where valueinvesting.io might show it not as overvalued. Like Meta, for example, on valueinvesting.io, it's showing it's undervalued right now. I'm interested to see what Alpha Spread shows. But worst case, best case, Amazon. And then again, you got that visual. I just like to look at that visual with the chart. All right, let's go here and let's see Meta. Now, this isn't some guaranteed thing when you use Alpha Spread. It's just a good way to get a visual of, you know, what, based on the financials. Oh, look, overvalued by 20%. Wow. All right, let's see what else. What else is there? What's another Mag 7? Netflix. Oh, Netflix got a little frothy. Overvalued by 43%. Jeez. See, I was trying to find stocks that were way undervalued. That's why I came on the channel and was talking about Comcast. Because I'm looking at it and I'm like, this thing is undervalued, dude. Worst case, 28% undervalued. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, wait a second. But you know, the reason I like to scroll down and look at this valuation history is because you'll find some stocks, depending on the industry, they never touch their intrinsic value. Like some like clothing retailers and stuff. Like, let me see, Abercrombie and Fitch. Some clothing retailers, I notice they like never get to their intrinsic value. Some of them, oh, this one did. But I don't know what businesses, but there's certain businesses you'll look and you'll see they never actually ever cross. So you're like, oh, it's so below, it's so undervalued. But it's like almost like it's always undervalued because it's not something that's got that sizzle. All right, now let's look up Apple. Let's see what the deal is with Apple. Apple's been a sleeper. You know how Apple was usually in the headlines, and I feel like when Buffett started selling his Apple, people were like, I don't know what's going on. And then I feel like they dropped the ball with AI, but I'm thinking maybe they just didn't spend as much as everybody else, and they're gonna not have all this debt. Well, they all have so much free cash flow. I don't think any of them have a ton of that much debt compared to their income and revenue. But what I'm getting at is, I feel like they probably made the least investment out of all the companies. It seems like, but saying way overvalued. Who knows? I wanted to mention this JP Morgan study because I've talked about it on the channel sometimes. So it says here, today's the S&P 500 is trading above a 23 forward PE. According to JP Morgan's long-term valuation analysis, the higher the starting PE, the lower the next 10-year return. Although no significant impact on one-year returns. So you can see here, like PE less than 12, historic high long-term returns. Look at this, PE greater than 23, where we are today, low to negative returns, -2 to 2% a year moving forward for the next 10 years, like average, you know what I mean? That's probably because there's a big correction, and then you get some ups, you get down, some ups, and the average ends up being mediocre. But it says important context. The JP Morgan data sample is 1987 to 2014, meaning this pattern may vary outside that period. That's true. But that's just something, you know, to think about. That's just something I've referenced on the channel before.
These represent various sectors, focusing on dividend-paying stocks. For financial advice, consult a professional.
All right, if you guys use the Google AI, sometimes she doesn't stop talking. I'm like, shut up. I'm trying to back out and she's still talking. I'm on to another search and she's still talking. All right, so what I wanted to look at was, let's see if any of the holdings, let's look at the top 10 holdings of SCHD and see, where are these valued at? Like, are these with Alpha Spread? Are they overvalued? Are they undervalued? So let's start with Merck. Merck, undervalued. Worst case, overvalued. Let's see if their revenue is declining or growing. Here's that chart. You can see it's crossed over before, so it's not one of those ones that never touches. Let's go down and see. Earnings per share is going up. Let's see. Scroll down to revenue. slight increase in revenue. Let's scroll down here. I always like to look at their liabilities and assets to see if they're underwater. I like to look at return on investment capital too to see, look, 20%, to see if they're good at making money with their money. And then I like to look at Wall Street's estimates. 17% downside, damn. 46% upside. And I like to look at the dividends, but I also like to look at the shareholder yield. So shareholder yield isn't much more than the dividend yield. So the shareholder yield will take into account the debt they're paying down, the buybacks, and the dividend yield all combined. So like the real value that they're giving the shareholder. All right, now let's look up Amgen. We're not going to do every single one, but if you guys want, check out Alpha Spread and you can mess with it. Amgen, overvalued. Let's look up Verizon. Verizon's another one. Verizon, undervalued, worst case. Man, Verizon. I heard Verizon got the contract for Amazon's data center cables. Let's see what they're getting. New electricity and power lines running are high-capacity fiber routes. These fiber networks form the backbone of modern computing. All right, let's look up one or two more. Let's look up Cisco. Cisco's showing overvalued. So I guess it's not like SDHD is some undervalued gem. All right, let's look what else we got. We've got AbbVie. Overvalued. Maybe not as frothy as the Mag 7, but the Mag 7's got those strong earnings. So who knows? Who knows what's the best thing to do? But I was just for fun looking at Mag 7 and then looking at some of these dividend stocks. Well, I'll see you guys in the next video. Appreciate you guys.